influenced by that new romantics. It was kind of rock and roll with that kind of dance thing. So In the Heat worked really well. I had the bass line. I played bass all through high school. Switched over to guitar with Romantics. I wasn't even going to play guitar with Romantics. We asked around town in Detroit for a guitar player with my friends. I could call them up. We want to play straight ahead rock and roll, Chuck Berry. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. They were all into the metal Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck, and we loved that. But we wanted to do something different. And
it was a very interesting time musically that way, and definitely from the very beginning of when you guys came together. So I'm speaking with Mike Skill of the Romantics, as well as Mike Skill, and he has some amazing new release to come. We're about to get into that. But the Romantics, they hail from Detroit, Michigan. They formed in 1976. Since their debut, the band has released 6 studio albums and become one of the most inspirational power pop acts of all time. That's what I saw online. And Mike, I've got to say, pop, yes. But you guys are like a fusion of that British invasion rock, like real rock, and punk. And it all comes together to be so iconic. And one thing, I'm going to be a little geeky here because I love numbers. So you guys have played 129 concerts. In 1984, just that one year, you guys played 15 concerts. 2015, you played 24 concerts in one year. What do you notice from in 1984 trying to get the word out there that, hey, these guys are playing a concert? Now, of course, by then, you're opening for big names. But go ahead. But that brings me back to my question that I wanted to ask a few moments ago about the hustle of then versus the hustle of now. Do you find it much easier to grab people to use social media and websites and so many different digital platforms to market on today?
Well, we had to drive to New York over and over again, and then we'd go to Boston or Philadelphia or Toronto or Cleveland, Chicago, to push our look, our sound. Now I can go right here in my studio, and I set up everything, and I play, and I can Zoom. I can promote you right now like I'm doing. And so that's the big geeky thing. But, and maybe it's not as fun, but I'm glad. I'm not sure I could do the drives, the long drives, and the continuous out there. I guess I could do it if I had to, but the continuous small clubs and the small hotels, the Holiday Inns with the air leaking through the under the door in the middle of winter, and up in Minnesota, it's 5 degrees, and it's just that it was something that hardened us to our music and our sound and our rawness. Was the whole environment of being on the road in that one van, just like the Ramones in that van, driving 12 hours, driving 8 hours. I think you mentioned the number of the shows. I think the numbers are probably incorrect, because I know on In Heat in 1984 we were out for 11 months. Oh, wow. So that's at least 100. That's at least 200 shows right there. I'm sure of it. We were out. So we have to be up into thousands of shows for over 4 decades, But,
and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I'm trying to do this research, and I'm like, 129 concerts. No, that doesn't sound right. Either there's huge news in the hustle of then versus now, or the numbers are just wrong. So thank you very much for that correction. I was for sure it was going to be a lot more than that.
Well, you have to remember too, the band was a hard-working road band. We're on the band, instead of getting $1 million when the Nat came out, the full Billboard magazine, which is very expensive, and all the billboards, big billboards, we didn't have that. We were on a custom label of a custom label. We were on Nemperor Records, on a division of Epic Portrait, which was Columbia. Mm-hmm. So we were on a custom label, independent label, Nemperor. And, they were directly on Capitol, and other bands were. We weren't getting that. We were on the road selling it. We were. That's what made us. Kept the energy. That kept the attitude. That kept the. That has a lot of something to do with our longevity, I think. with my longevity as a musician and a writer. You got to be in the trenches. You know, you have to be out there doing it, and that's the only thing that I worry about is making sure that I guess I worry about it, but making sure it has that intensity when I'm only go from my house to the studio or my house to a club to play, or you know, a few shows here and there. Right. It's not a grind, but I really try to capture the rawness and the edginess of my style with the new record. That's what I think I did with Mike Skill.
Yes, and that's a perfect segue. Yeah. I definitely want to talk about 67 Riot because it's just a great song. I mean, I was totally rocking out to it earlier.
Thank you.
And I'd love to play it again because I want people, you know, I want it to hit their ears and then talk about the creation of it. So let's set up this clip. Tell us a little bit about Wayne Kramer and yourself and coming together to create 67 Riot while I pull it into the screen.
Yeah, Wayne Kramer was part of a group, the MC5. They were like, and they had another guitar player, Fred Smith, and Rob Chiner was the singer I mentioned him before. And they're 5 guys that's working class guys out of Detroit, played straight ahead raw rock and roll with a political edge to it. It was about that 1969, 70 counterculture invasion kind of thing. And they were like, they were Detroit energy mixed with the Who and the Yardbirds. That's basically the way I say it. With an R&B feel, with a Motown attitude, and same with Romantics. And
very cool.
This song comes from. Well, I'll let you play it. We can talk about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So here is 67 Riot. This is Skill, Mike Skill, featuring Wayne Kramer. Mike, I love it. You've got, you know, a little bit of that punk sound from long ago, but you've brought it to today, and the instrumentals are amazing. Tell us about that experience of creating 67 Riot.
Yeah, well, I growing up in Detroit, it's 1967. You know, and around the country was a big explosive year for people standing up for themselves. And a lot of the 60s that was going on with the Vietnam War. And I was about 12 years old, something like that, 12, 13 years old. And Detroit was a hotbed of just high energy music. Because it's electric. Detroit was electric at the time. But, an incident happened a couple weeks before. And then there was a party for a couple of soldiers that came home from Vietnam. And they were at a party for, which in Detroit we called it a blind pig. It was late at night, probably 4 a.m. And police came and things got out of hand and it caused a riot. For a few weeks. And the TV news was blasting about how watch out, your house is going to get, you know, the whole rhetoric was boiling over. And it was downtown and it was, you know, probably 5, 6, 7 miles away from my house, and still they're ramping up this whole fear thing, like they do, like the news did, and it stuck with me. You know, we had troops in our neighborhood, National Guard, we had tanks and trucks, and you know, curfews. The curfew went into effect. You had to be in the house by 6 o'clock, and it always stuck with me that quite a few years back, I thought I need to write a song in 67 Riot. So I had the title. I didn't know how I was going to write it, so I just start throwing the lines down, throwing lyrics. I start with a verse. I start with a couple lines, and then it just took off. I mean, I'm surprised at myself because it's really something you have to stay out of the way of the lyrics. You have to just keep writing it down and go with it. You don't analyze it. And I had the groove. I was in another studio that I had down the road, and I'm in Portland, Oregon right now, so people don't know. I live here, and I had the engineer. He was a drummer, but he wasn't drumming for me. But I go, look, can you put down this groove, just straight groove? And I laid down the basic guitar track, and next thing you know, I had half the song, and then I finished it right in the studio at that time. I didn't have the final verse. I had to do it a different way. So the last verse is the first verse. It's just a really strange artistic thing that happens. It just comes out, and I knew I wanted it to have like it was kind of a 70s Hendrixy kind of groove with the guitars, and I knew I wanted the backbeat, and I was thinking in terms of George Clinton and Funkadelic and all that. So the 67 Riot on the end is like my Parliament Funkadelic thing. And anyway, we recorded it, had it mixed, and I had all these songs for this record. Well, I had about half the songs written and mixed. And then I met Chuck Elkasian from Detroit. He has Pearl Sound. He said, Mike, why don't you send me some of your songs? He said, you got a lot of songs. So I sent him the songs, and he remixed a few of them, and I couldn't believe the sound. He took them like they just jumped off the speaker, and I go, Chuck, you got to do the rest of them. Let's do some more. And I went to Detroit and finished more, but he did 67 Riot, and Pearl Sound, and I mentioned that, man, it would be great to have like, the MC5 used to have like a sax, maybe Iggy would have a sax player at the end. The MC5 would have raw guitar. What if we got Wayne Kramer from the MC5, like my hero, one of my heroes? So and cool. He goes, call him. I go, oh, I can't call him, man. He's just one of those guys that got on pedestal, you know. I can't talk to Wayne Kramer. I'm going to call Wayne Kramer. I thought about it for a few days, and I'm back home in Portland here, and I called him. I was out and about, and I called him, and I told him I had the song, and I go, Wayne, this thing's in a groove, and I think your style, your sound would work with it, and he said, send it on over. I sent it to his studio in LA. He heard it. He goes, Mike, it's a great song. I want to play on it. I go, just do what you always did, and don't let up. And so he did it. He sent it back, and I go, oh man. I told Chuck, I go, you can't even touch it. Don't even turn it down. Don't change the sound. Don't cut anything. Just leave it the way it is. The song is the way he did it is the way he sent it to me, and it's pretty amazing. He's a wild, high energy rock and roll guitar player. He's just great. Everybody, any guitar player knows. Anyone that knows guitar players, he's one of the guys. You know, he's one of the guys we all grew up with, and Wayne Kramer and Jimmy McCarty from Detroit, and all these guys. You know, Detroit guitar players are some of the best around from the '70s, and you got Steve. You got, well, of course, you get Ted Nugent. He's in a class. We always loved Ted Nugent and the Amboy Jukes is our favorite band. It's when he did songs straight ahead. His guitar playing all the songs, but there's like 5-10 guys back then that just Steve Hunter, who played on no one knows he played on the Kiss records in the studio. Steve Hunter and Aerosmith, and you know, and then God, I'm missing names. I'm missing some of the names, but Jimmy McCarty was with Cactus. Anyway, so Wayne Kramer was a pleasure to have him work on this record. It was something that I'm glad I did, and we're gonna.
It's another iconic piece. It really is. It plays. If you were to play it then, it would be a hit then. You play it today, it's a hit today. It's amazing. How has the reaction to the single when it dropped? Has anybody reached out to you and say, oh my gosh, I love this? Like, what are you hearing?
Well, I'm hearing it has the energy of Detroit 70, the MC5 vibe. It has some vibe of that Hendrixy kind of jam. It has that raw attitude. And with the subject matter, I'm just so happy I was able to write something that means something, that we can't forget the things of the past because we keep repeating them if we don't address them. And that's pretty much what it's about. It's about, come on, everybody, let's get it together. It's pretty much what it is in the end. But and I felt it needs to be documented in music, like the blues cats would do. Johnny Hooker wrote protest songs, and you know, coming back from the blues guys to the folk guys of the 50s and 60s. It's my responsibility to, I feel, as an artist, to view what's going on around the world.
Sure.
I mean, this wouldn't have came out on the Romantics record. This is not a song that the Romantics would have done. And so it's my growth in writing, and my adherence to sticking to my guns, to keeping the Detroit energy, the Detroit attitude, and my music endeavor.
Well, congratulations! Congratulations on the track. I can't wait to hear some more. Before we bring the interview to a close, I definitely want to get back to a question that I had said I was going to pause on a couple of minutes ago, which is about writing. So what I'm hearing is that you've spent some really intense sessions and I don't need to say it like this, like crank out songs. That's not what you do. Yeah. You fully craft them. You take your time and let it come to you. But can you tell me, has there been any times where you've really just locked yourself away? Like, what is your environment for writing where you're most productive?
Well, I can write, if you want to get into it a little bit, I can pick up the guitar right now and I could come up with something, right? But it's good, and I can work on lyrics, and I can jog it down and play with it and that. But it's not going to be like is inspired. I can do it like in a flash. I can do it. But if I have a drummer come in here and he plays a beat, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And then the lyrics are a whole other thing. The guitar, what I'll do is I'll get a piece. Last night I got a piece. I'm working on this new thing about someone that we used to hang out at a friend's house. A friend had a family that lived on their block, like my guitar player friend, and across the street was this lady, Violet. And they had their house was teenagers hung there, and the neighbors would get all cranky and that. But we just hung there, played music, we played cards, chess, and you couldn't drink there, you couldn't smoke there, and we were 16 or 17 years old, and I'm working on this Violet's garden, and we were the garden for Violet. She didn't have the grass; it was brown dirt. Violet's garden. We were us kids were the garden. So I'm working on that, and. But I got to let it sit for a little bit. I've got a verse, and I don't want to push it. If I start pushing it, I like to let the ideas come out.
Sure.
And but you're correct. I mean, if I had a drummer here, I could, anything could come out right now. And I have tons of stuff. My phone is full of lyrics, and lyrics and songs, and pieces of songs, and pieces of melodies. I've got another thing. I went out to a walk last night. That's usually when things happen. I was working on lyrics as I walked. I was coming up with I've had a title for a song for quite a couple of years, number of years, and so I was getting a melody for that while I was walking. So it can happen anytime. It can happen anytime, and for me, it's about stepping back, painting it a little bit, changing the color of it a little bit, adjusting it, and then scrapping it, and then coming in with a whole another idea. So it's really a freeform anarchy. Kind of anarchy.
That is a beautiful way of saying it. It is, isn't it? Well,
you're asking great questions. Thank you.
Oh, of course. Well, I appreciate your time. We've been on almost an hour, and you have been so wonderful to grace me with your presence and with your time. You're a true master in the industry, and I value our time together. So I really, from my heart, want to say thank you so much for allowing me to pick your brain for an hour of your day. And I hope the weather is treating you nicely out there in Portland, that you get to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And thank
Yeah.
you. Oh.
Thank you.
Well, that's a perfect ending to a
Yeah.
wonderful interview, Mike.
It made it through the whole interview.
It did. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'd love to chat with you again soon.
When I get to Atlanta, you're in Atlanta.
Yes.
And we're playing. Come out and see us. So,
I would love to. I'll be there.
I'll have my group. I'll have my other group come out, and we'll come out next year. So hopefully, so.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds.
I really appreciate it, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. Yep. All right, we'll see you later on.
Thanks.
Of course.
All right, peace.
Oh my goodness, everybody. That was a great interview. So I did notice that this show is on YouTube, but not on Facebook. But that's okay. We're going to pull out the video. We're going to put it all over the place. It's going to be out there very, very soon. And a shout out to the sponsor today of Viter Energy. So Viter Energy has Viter Energy mints as well as Viter Energy gum. It is full of niacin, B6, B12. It's going to give you a little bit of a boost, and each little mint is 40 calories each. You can get this at your local Walmart. You can, of course, get it on Amazon as well as goviter.com. I'm going to pull that information up here onto the screen so that you can write it down. It's goviter.com. Boosts energy, freshens breath. It's going to get you going wherever you got to go. So everybody, thank you so much for watching the show. This has been a real treat for me here at the Caffeinated Cooper Show with Mike Skill on. I love the music. Keep watching. Go to MikeSkill.com. That's MikeSkill.com. All right, everybody, as always, we are blessed. You are blessed. I love you. And have a wonderful day. We'll be back again with more interviews very soon.